Oh gosh, there's so many cats! Hell yeah! Hello everyone, and welcome back to Pesterquest. I'm working on like a couple hours of sleep after a long trip, but I still managed to get back here just in time for Jake English to get his reveal. Tally ho down, we're gonna befriend Jake today. Super exciting. Can't wait to screw up his voice in so many ways. How does this jungle boy get an English accent? How is this even possible? Oh gosh. Looking forward to this. I'm also looking forward to see how we're gonna incorporate Dirk into all this, because I got a feeling we're gonna get hints at Dirk. But I got a feeling that Dirk's gonna be the penultimate? Or well, I'm sure he'd be penultimate or ultimate, that's just the thing. I think he'll be the last one. Mainly because because Dirk has the power over everything in the freaking sequel. So it makes sense to save God for last. Anyway, let's get started with this. Oh man, I am so bloody tired. I think I'm slightly jet lagged. Ugh. But I shouldn't be jet lagged that much. It's only a 2-hour distance between here and Austin. Ugh. Okay. Volume 12. That's right. Adventure! Full of vim and vigor. That's what I like to think. Oh, why is there a Biclops just staring at us? It's just standing there. Menacingly. Okay. All you wanted to do was make a new friend, and now you're running like hell from a giant white creature with 2 heads, each sporting a single garish eye. Kind of like a Cyclops, except with 2 of the one-eyed faces, so you guess it's a duo Cyclops? Whatever it is, it's angry as hell and chasing you through a tangled jungle. You leap over a strand of ferns and duck under one of those big woody vines jungles always have. After befriending Jane, you asked her for the names of some of her friends. Not too many details. You made that mistake with Solix. Just a little tantalizing friendship. Amuse brochet to get started. What? Specifically, you were interested in the friend that needed her help daily. Now that sounded like some fertile ground for a relationship. You kind of regret bringing it up though, because Jane got very flustered telling you about Jake. It's clear that her friendship with this guy is the topic of some emotional turmoil. Well, who better to help sort it out than you, everyone's friend? But instead of friendship, you've been greeted by a number of ferocious white monsters. Your garbled brain offers up that this probably is that you probably angered this kid's Lucis. Except this is Earth. Between different planets, different universes, and the mess of timelines in your memory, you're having a hard time figuring out. You trip over a big tree root and land smack on your face in the dirt. You choke on decaying plant matter, clawing at your throat, and you roll over onto your back just in time to see the duo Cyclops about to bring down one huge foot right on your vulnerable body. Are you allowed to start over if you haven't made a branching choice yet? You cover your eyes. Ooh, nothing happens. And you gone. After a moment of Olympic-level breath catching, you venture a peek. The duo Cyclops is in pieces on the ground. 2 pieces. You hope that the thematic resonance offered it some sort of comfort and such a brutal end. Is it a Dirk robot? You scramble to your feet. Your future new friend, Jake, must have intervened to save you. You look around for him, but there's another whoosh noise and a glint of metal, and something inhuman appears in front of the duo Cyclops' body. Ooh, we seen Robot Dirk? It is a Robo Dirk! Hey, boy! It's a robot, kind of a cartoony one, with the shiny metal joints and big red anime sunglasses. It even has a perfectly gelled metal hairstyle. Honestly, it looks pretty goofy, but it's also holding a katana and staring right at you. You think you saw something similar broken all over the floor of Equius's room. It must be a BattleBot, and you don't have the strength of your punchiest friend. Challenge the robot or do not. I like how the pants are just normal pants. It's got metal grooves, we got all the encasements, and then just pants. Okay. Choice number 1, save. I'm gonna challenge the robot. With a yell, you charge forward, waving your arms intimidatingly. Yeah, it's a robot. It's not scared. The robot implacably waits for your approach, then strikes out in one swift motion, too fast to see. You crumple to the ground, your world exploding in a pain. You huddle into a ball, waiting for the robot to finish you off. But it's not interested. It zooms away, leaving you to your agonies. In the burst of lucidity available to you, you discern that it has kicked you in the chest, breaking several of your ribs. No problem. That's a totally survivable injury. You'll be fine and ready to get your friendship Katamari rolling again in no time. La 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 the Katamari damashi. Anyway, you're just gonna lie here for a bit first, just to gather your strength. Just gonna lie here, too injured to run, surrounded by ferocious beasts and leaking delicious aromatic blood, just for a minute or two. Monster bait, game over. Thought so. Okay, so I'm looking at the eyes. What do we got? We got another one of the duo Cyclops. We got I think a Tinkerbell, because it's got the orange irises. And we've got, I think, Crab Dad over there on the side. And, of course, Dirkbot is just watching. Anyway, loading. Back we go. Oops, that's the wrong one. Ah, exception. Roll back. Roll back. Ignore. Okay. That was scary. Let's try that again. And not choose that one. We're choosing this one. Do not challenge that robot. Your default, no, okay, I can read. You default to your old standby. Cowering. You shrink back, hands raised in the universal symbol of whoa now. Crap, no horse pun intended. For some reason, the thought of Equius in the presence of this robot are bringing your brain right off to horses. Suddenly, a shot rings out behind you. It sounds so stupid that you almost don't believe it. But it's true. Who's shooting a gun at a robot? The robot makes a little vrr startup noise and raises its katana into a steady stance. In a blur of green and khaki, charges out of the jungle and tackles the robot full in the stomach. It doesn't fall to the ground. Instead, it puts the kid, a human, you see now, so probably this Jake guy, into a headlock. He struggles, lashing at it with his elbows and kicking it at its ankles. The robot proceeds to beat the kid up. There's no reason to describe it in detail. It's unpleasant to watch and it makes you feel really bad. You didn't even know there could be a polar opposite of Equius, but this kid is it. The robot is super effective against him. Super effective. You have to stop it, but there's too much action for you to get in close. Even if you could reach Jake, there's no way you could zap him out there without bringing the BattleBot with you. Except, things have been weird lately. The accepted rules of power no longer seem so inviolable. Maybe you can just do it? You close your eyes and think really hard about bringing Jake with you. Oh! We're in your, stupid little nerd dungeon. Look at all these posters. So great. Anyway, when you open your eyes, a young man stands in his bedroom. Wait, is it Jake's birthday? No? What? You shake your head in consternation. Anyway, you managed to bring Jake, and only Jake, into his house. I like the reference there. And Jake's brows are still ginormous in this. I saw the artwork on Twitter, and I was like, what the heck is this? He stands there, clutching his side and panting, recovering from the robo beatdown. Interesting. Where do I know this tune from? I don't think I do know this tune. I don't think I do, anyway. I don't think this is a reused song. I think this is a James Roach original. 2 seconds. Okay. I like the sound, though. It's a nice song. It's got a mixture of harpsichords, a sitar, lots of traditional percussion. So that's great. I like I like this one. Moving on. The guy's bedroom is covered in movie posters. It's hard to even see the shape of the walls. The floor is littered with weaponry. A lot of the kids you've met live like this, basically lounging around in piles of detritus pertaining to their character-defining interest. I can't... Okay, I'm not thinking about Homestuck 2. Moving on. Anyway, it's clear to anyone who sees this room that he absolutely loves movies and guns. You don't need to waste any time on exposition there. Here we go. Jeezum creasum. You alright over there, my chromatically challenged chappie? You're one to talk. You're fine. Jake is the one who seems hurt. That robot really did a number on him. I'll say, confounded thing practically never doesn't do a number on me. It does so many numbers, it's one short of a standing ovation down on Broadway Avenue. I'm just glad I could be there to help. You know, life is always just a smidgen easier with a bro's helping hand firmly placed on your behind. Phrasing. With a friend behind you is what I mean to say. Oh, sure. Jake doesn't really seem fazed by any of this. Not the alien monsters on his island, not your presence, and not his ungainly defeat at the hands of the anime robot. Not even you teleporting him around. Well, sure, my good buddy Jane told me you might drop by. And honestly, I've been chomping at the proverbial bit to meet you, old fella, me lad. I'm sure Janie showed you a good time, as she is a stand-up host and a top-notch friendo. An absolute wonder wench, and no doubt about it. By gosh, I've just been so gung-ho to show a brand new personage around the old digs. Get it? I live in Ruined Temple, so it literally digs. Oh, he's such a weirdo, but he's cute. He's a cute boy. Look at that face! Look at that face! Nudges you with a meaningful elbow and gives you a hearty raising of the brows. Just one, though. Did he just say all that out loud? He did. Well, here you are, ready to be shown around the Ruined Temple. Where to first? Oh, let's not actually go there. You know I'm no stranger to danger, but there's nothing like a man's familiar four walls to give him a feeling of peace and quietude. We'd better hide out for a bit, just a tactical withdrawal whilst my robo-buddy and the usual monster menagerie are out and about. Oot and a boot. Right, the monsters. You can't help but notice that this is the same island where Jade lived, but instead of one big white creature custodian like Beck, Jake has lots. Trying to be culturally sensitive, you tell him it must have been nice to have such a big family. Jake looks perplexed. I reckon it must be nice. I can't say I've ever had one, though. If family's what you're looking for, you couldn't have picked a worse place to mount your search. There's about as much familiar spirit in my locale as cows in a cornfield. Which is to say, there's simply none to be seen. Oh crap, you misinterpreted things, so Jake really lives here alone? That must be hard. I'll say. As another of my friends could tell you, there's nothing worse than being a teen stranded alone in the middle of in the Pacific Ocean. Oh, Dirk. Okay. My grandma used to live here with me, but she died long ago. You think of your friend John, or rather his corpse, standing ceremonially in Jane's living room. Same house, similar kids, same island, mysterious dead grandma. It's not hard to put two and two together and come up with your dead friend Jade. It's a gut punch, even though the inexorable passage of time means that, of course, you could zap to the future and visit time periods where all your friends are dead, if you wanted. You guess that's kind of what you did to your old friends by skipping forward so many years in Alternia. Haha, wow, you're starting to hyperventilate about this. You focus hard on Jake, trying to pull yourself together. Luckily, he doesn't seem to have noticed anything is wrong with you. Jake seems like the kind of person who doesn't have room in his head to talk and notice about other people in the same time. But I try not to complain. After all, things could be worse. I have all the cans a boy could ever want to cookalize. I get to romp in the pumpkin patch to my heart's delight. Plus, this island is the perfect setting for one of the coolest things in the world. Sorry, rumble in the pumpkin patch got me right there. Anyway. That's right, adventure! The thrill of discovery, the frenzy of battle. It's the most fulfilling diversion of them all. Why, no boy of a sound disposition could feel sad about his perpetual isolation, and the dreadness and the deadness attribute of his family members, when the whole dark and teeming jungle is available for his dauntless exploration? Is that really what he thinks? You can't help but remember about 30 seconds ago when Jake said he didn't want to go out to the ruins. You're no problem, sleuth, but Jake's room looks pretty lived in, not to mention the quantity of movies consumption suggested by his decor. You're about to respond when there's a horrendous clatter from down below. Jake freezes, a small animal caught in the headlights. You suspect the headlights are the red anime glasses variety. Ooh, oh wow. Ooh, frack buttons, the metal maverick makes his return. Listen, you look like a rum customer with primo getaway sticks. Fleeing is probably our best option here. Yeah, my legs are fantastic. You don't get it. The last guy you knew who made a habit of consorting with BattleBots always bested them handily. Why would Jake make something he couldn't beat? Whoa, jumpin' Jehoshaphat! I'm touched by your high opinion of my robotics know-how. No, I didn't make the robot. My best buddy did. He is a genuine whiz with tech of all kinds, and a real thoughtful guy when it comes, even though sometimes I wish he would apply some of the big brain box to helping me out just a touch more. He couldn't be here himself because of the physical limitations of time and space, so he sent the robot to train me. It's really nice if you think about it. I mean, at first I thought it was somewhat overbearing and unnecessary, but after Dirk explained it to me, I got it that it was just his way of being nice. Yep, Dirk's way of being nice is to send something that tries to kill you. Anyway. His friend sounds... Not everyone is as lucky as me to have 3 stalwart compadres to brighten their day when they live alone on a murder island. When you think about it, I'm just about the luckiest gent who ever was stranded in the Pacific with a passel of ferocious monsters and a killer robot. You guess someone could say that, if that someone was Jake? Hold on, I just thought about something. It said that his friend knew something about being stranded in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I don't know what... If anything, Dirk's ocean would be, like, closer to, you know, like... closer to Southern America? Not really. Or maybe even the Atlantic, not the Pacific. Anyway. Another harsh sound from below reminds you of the urgency of the situation. You could easily teleport the two of you out of here, but, well, the creepy biotech chittering noise of drones still echoes in your memories. You've had some bad experiences trying to escape a killer robot with its eyes set on a friend. Escape via teleportation seems like a temporary solution at best. Sooner or later, Jake's probably going to have to face the robot. Is there some way the two of you acting together can take it down? Ugh, you don't understand. It learns from your actions. Anytime I've even started to get a jump on that dad-burned chrome butt-sucker, it just turned around and given itself a thorough school feeding on the topic of kicking my sweet Bippy. If we fight it together, it'll learn how to fight 2 people, and then you'll leave me all by my lonesome, then when you leave me all by my lonesome, I'll be up Crap Creek with nary a paddle to be found. It's like that robot in The Incredibles. Instead of being an absolutely fantastic work of cinematic art, it's my real life. Cheesums Creasums. Jake's friend is among the worst gift givers you've ever seen. No, you've never seen. There's just one thing that we can do if a hasty retreat isn't what tickles your biscuit. If we could find a way to turn on novice mode, it'll be easier to deal with. I usually don't do it, but I'd hate to be subject a guest to the violent vicissitudes of the robot rascal. I just can't remember how it's done. Oh, okay, so at least this friend included an easy mode. You're starting to think this guy was one of those gamers who thought easy mode cheapened the experience. If he was designed the thing with a novice mode, maybe he could remind Jake how to trigger it? Well, I have to admit you've really put your achromatic digit right on the crux of the matter there, amigo. Strider's a bang-up bro, and I won't utter a word against him, but he doesn't really like to offer help. I imagine he'll think it's my fault for forgetting in the first place, and he'll probably won't give me the answer because then I won't learn the lesson I shouldn't be so forgetful. Wow! You're starting to form some tentative questions about this Strider guy. That said, buddy-o, I think you've stumbled into quite the slick solution to our woes. There's no shame in a brave adventurer asking for help when he's well and truly screwed. Maybe we can find someone willing to offer us their casa as a temporary abode. Oh, sure, you could do that. Maybe Jake could message Jane? Although, now that you think about it, given how Jane talked to Jake when you were there, it seems cruel to spring something on her with no little lead time to prepare herself. You don't want to fluster her too badly. You quickly backpedal, telling Jake that Jane seemed too busy when you were there last. Is there anyone else? Oh, well, Roxy's probably zozzled by now. Zozzled? Oh, you know, pie-eyed, on a toot, tying one in deep in the giggle water, 3 sheets into a cold nor'easter. Oh, wait, she's drunk? Bingo was his name-o. So this is a common thing, and she's Jake's age. You don't want to make any assumption, but that sounds, well, concerning. And also familiar. You remember what feels like a long time ago, helping a girl symbolically trash her mother's liquor collection. Of course, alcoholism isn't that rare, but still, you're starting to feel like there's something strange about all these convergent circumstances. Anyway, is Jake sure his friend is okay? Oh no, it's nothing like that. Roxy's just a fun and wacky gal. Yeah, alcoholism is so fun. Super fun. Sure, she dabbles in the devil's drink, but she always seems to be having such a good time. I wouldn't want to make any unfair assumptions about it. Oh, Jake. Somehow this fails to make you feel better. I guess asking Strider for help is our only option. Ugh, I just know he's going to be a complete pain in the keister about it. I'll have to butter him up like a morning muffin. Are you any good at manners of persuasion? Yikes. You want to understand where this kid's coming from, but you're reaching your limits here. Is that really all the friendships Jake has? If so, that is bleak. There's clearly some kind of feelings-based train wreck in the horizon with him and Jane. His friend Roxy is obviously having a crisis that Jake pretends not to see, and his friendship with Strider has more red flags than the People's Republic of China. Is this what Jake was willing to put up with, just for companionship? He just pretends he doesn't see the huge issues in his friendships to keep the peace? Is this what it looks like when someone is so indiscriminately hungry for affection that they're willing to go along with anything to get it? You've had about enough. You tell Jake you can't stand this anymore. This life that he has, it's no good. Not even close. He lost his family, he's scared to leave his house, his only company in real life is a robot that's programmed to hurt him, and he thinks it was a gift. He seems unwilling to face the glaring flaws in his closest relationships. Precisely. Poor Jake. Poor Hope players in general. All of this might be hard and sad, but it can't be helping Jake to be so deep in denial about it. He can't just cover all this up with cavalier optimism. There's no way that's what's best for him to live. You understand it must be scary for there to seem some structural flaws in every single one of Jake's support pillars, but addressing them is the only way anything can get better. Because this, hiding out in his room all alone and just pretending he has the support he needs, is not sustainable. You don't say this part, but if he keeps going along with what other people want him to be, you're scared of what's going to happen to him as he grows up. That can't lead anywhere good. After your rant, Jake stares at you aghast. You start to feel bad. Yes, he probably needed to hear those things, but you could have guided him more gently. I'm in that same boat, Pesterquest kid. You're usually an expert at encouraging people slowly towards emotional growth, but this kid really got under your skin. Then Jake's face crumples. You're absolutely right. Oh, I am lying to myself. I manicure the image of myself as some brave adventurer, but I don't go to the ruins unless I have to. And I suppose on some level I have suspected that things with Jane and Roxy and Dirk weren't exactly Jake. Wait, what? Oh, it's like a word that means good. It's just plain English, Jake English. Anyway, I guess I didn't realize how serious it was or how much I was really ignoring. Gee freaking willikers. It's not easy to hear that. All this came across loud and clear to a complete stranger. That really makes me feel low. But I guess for a truly brave gentleman, the only thing to do is try to do better from here on out. It's scary, but I do want to be the kind of person who is honest and forthright. A real hero. If I'm not doing that, then I need to figure out how to do that. Holy smokes, you've really opened my eyes. I like that they censored the, last letter. I'll just say, Mr. Mystery Friend? You've really got a knack for spotting problems. Do you think you could stick around and help me do better? It's like asking the sun if it minds shining, helping people confront their buried issues and come out of it changed for the better? Why, that's the very thing you've desperately latched to give your life some sort of purpose. But something about this feels off. Was your rant really all it took to turn things around for Jake? Did you really just fix him? It doesn't seem right. Definitely not good pacing anyway. Jake is looking at you with big green puppy eyes. You have to make a choice. Agree to help or do not. Let's see. It would be kind of a jerk move to just say, oh no, I'm not helping you, so let's not. You're about to say yes. Every part of you is straining to say yes and fulfill your life's purpose. Your real life's purpose, not like before when you were being mind-controlled to pursue friendship on whatever shallow or unsatisfying level was possible. This desire to help, to make your mark in whatever small positive way you can wrangle, is something you figured out for yourself. It matters. But when you're about to open your mouth, you stall. A deep existential hopelessness washes over you. A kind that you thought you were past by now. You know what? Screw it. Yes, you care, but honestly, you are exhausted. So much work coaxing teens through personal revelations, with no reward except the temporary abatement of your deep soul-level feeling of narrative irrelevance. You need a break. Why not give yourself a freebie? You tell Jake that you don't think he needs your help. It's enough for right now that he's realized that there's a problem. There's no need to swallow down all your personal growth pills at once. Jake looks objectively relieved. Well, if I can shoot straight from the hip, that's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. I think I've done enough already, too. Phew, this has been a great talk. I feel like we were really firing on all cylinders, friendship-wise. If you were a past version of yourself, you would feel that would make you feel really happy, instead of sick feeling of guilt is poisoning your guts. You were about to touch on something real there, and you know it was wrong to pull back from it. You're not doing Jake any favors. Still, you gave him a weak smile and offered him the best friend-making tool you know. Are there any faraway friends he's interested in connecting with? Boy howdy, what a proposition! Why, I feel like one of those movie characters who's offered near unlimited powers out of nowhere, like Bruce Almighty, ready to lasso the moon and curse the consequences on those pesky tides. There is someone I've had a hankering to meet for a little tete-a-tete. Remember when I regaled you with a tale of my grandma? Oof, you're not sure if you're going to be able to reunite this kid with his dead grandma. That seems like one of those things you wouldn't be allowed to do, despite the supposed limitless of your powers. You're like a genie. Anyway. You'd probably be blocked by that weird force, the one that seems to have power that supersedes zapping anywhere at any time, place, or dimension. You don't like to think about the forces too hard. No, my stalwart chum. I've been corresponding in an epistolary fashion with my version of Grandma when she was a young girl. I get it. Epistolary is letters. Okay. My pen pal buddy, Jade. I understand if it's asking too much, but I'd love to meet her. She always said we'd meet someday in some roundabout confusing who's-he-what's-it fashion, and I was pleased as a passel of possums to hear it. But recently she stopped replying, right in the final run-up of the vaulted finish line. I've been all a-Twitter with a worry, if I don't mind telling you. Do you think we could take a hop, skip, and jump over to her lodgings? What a relief. You actually know Jade. You could take him to Jade right now. Jake smiles a big goofy grin at you. You should feel happy, you tell yourself sternly. This is a good thing to do. He said himself you're fixing a concern of his. But the yawning malaise inside you only grows. You like to think of yourself as an agent of positive change, but here you are again. Nothing but a glorified interdimensional taxi service. Whatever, who cares? At least he'll be with someone he loves. You grab Jake's hand and take him to his family. Do we? You expect the normal non-event to have zappy powers, but instead there's a sick wrenching feeling, a kind of squeezing like you're in the right shape. You're not the right shape for whatever you're doing. It steals your breath and then it's gone. Nervously, you open your eyes. Oh, hey! Hey, we're in Hot Switch, son. Hot Switch. Oh, are we gonna meet Joey or Jude? Let's go. Oh, I like the skulls in the background are like, oh, that's great. The troll friends, Zephyros and Damek. That's great. Okay, what the hell? What is this? Does this have to do with your powers, that your powers are changing? Sure, you were distracted and gloomy when you zapped, but you had no idea what just happened. You're not at Jade's house. Wherever you are, it feels deeply wrong. The wrongness jangles through your bones and teeth like the vibrations of a jackhammer. Yeah, you're in a different universe entirely. You're not supposed to be here. You have to get out of here. You grab Jake with a grimace and zap more carefully. Here we are. Ah, there we go. You breathe a sigh of relief, which sadly cut short when you turn to see Jade shoving a muzzle of a rifle in your face once again. Back up, hands raised. Jade, no, it's you, your friend. You've been here through these wacky misunderstanding shenanigans with the firearms. I know who it is. I just think you shouldn't be here. What? Don't get me wrong. I appreciate everything you've done for me. You have no idea what it meant to be able to meet my friends in person. But the last time you were here, things got dangerous. I started to wonder if you got any idea what consequences are of what you're doing. Okay, there's obviously something she needs to get off her chest, but you want to hear it. And you want to hear it, but can she put the gun down? You both know she's not actually going to shoot you. Oh, right. I guess the gun was a little over the top, but you startled me and I got really mad. Ever since you left last time, I've been thinking about what you did with me and Dave. Even though Beck didn't stop you, I don't think he wanted me to be traveling around like that. I know you're a nice person and you don't mean to do anything bad, but I think it's impossible to have powers like yours without being a little corrupted by them. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. When you mess around in our lives, that can have serious consequences, but you always leave afterward and don't live out those consequences with us. It's great to meet my friends, but you know what? I would have met them anyway, in the game. I can't help thinking it would have been better for things to play out like they were supposed to. So I'm sorry, but I just don't want you interfering in my life anymore. I think it's for the good of everyone if you leave us alone from now on. It hurts to hear. And how can you argue with that? You tell Jade that you don't want to do anything that makes her uncomfortable. It's just like there's one little thing that you might maybe already did. Oh boy. That's so crazy. You gesture to Jake. He's huddled behind you, clearly having second thoughts about this. Maybe it's the gun. Then again, Jake is pretty comfortable around guns. Probably it's the fear of the mortifying ordeal of being known. Who the hell are you? You watch as he clears his throat and fidgets, his hands twisting at his sides like he's thinking about hanging onto his own guns for comfort. I'm your grandson? Jake? That's me. Jade bursts into tears. She flings herself forward and throws her arms around Jake. Okay, I know I said I didn't want any interference, but this isn't fair. I can't believe you're here. When they pull apart, Jake's eyes are watery as well. He's taller than Jade, being a few years older, but from the shy way he looks at her, you can tell that he sees her as an authority figure here. You can see how much Jake must have admired his grandmother. Fine, you're still in a good mood. You know, you're still in a mood, but this is heartwarming as hell. You intentionally tune out the conversation a little as Jade and Jade gush at each other. It seems really private. They're family, after all. You don't have any place in this conversation, which only adds to your frustrated feeling of being help-blocked. It's great that this is making Jade and Jake so happy, but it really has nothing to do with you at all. I guess I can't really give you the tour since you grew up in the same place as me. But maybe we can take advantage of the opportunity? We both grew up alone, right? Is there anything you always wanted to do but couldn't with only one person? That could be taken out of context. Holy hail, Jade. That is a rip snorter of an idea. You've got a splendiferous mind up in that noggin of yours. Aww. It's weirding me out how much you sound like my grandpa, but it's making me miss him too. But I'm really happy I get to spend time with you. Me too. As for your question, there's one thing that comes forefront to the old think tank. You know how it is being a kid alone in a room in a forsaken island in the middle of nowhere? You start to entertain all kinds of fancies. Of course. Well, there's this cosplay I've been wanting to work on for years. No. Tomb Raider? Are we seeing Jake in booty shorts? Here we go. Well, there's this cosplay I've been trying to work for years, and I'm not very good at cosplay, and I haven't had anyone to help me bring my vision to life. Is that the kind of activity you'd be suited for? Oh my gosh, I would love that! What's the character? Only the bravest archaeologist / adventurer of all time, Lara Croft. Oh wow. So, you want to be a sexy Tomb Raider? I think I'll have to stop picturing you as my grandpa. But I would love to help you with that. To be frank, Jade, I don't really think of Miss Croft as sexy. Oh, I know some unmannerly rogue like to comment on the size of her bamboozas. No, bazoombas. Some real honka-donkas. But from where I'm sitting, she is a consummate professional. Yeah, because all of her relationships seem to go downhill. Anyway, I just admire her moxie. Oops, sorry. I was just making an assumption based on her outfit, I guess. That really is rude of me. To tell you the truth, I've never seen anything sexy about shorts. I aspire to the freedom Lara's thighs get to experience every day. I think it's a beautiful dream. A man can wear short shorts without wanting anyone to get all randied about it, if you know what I mean. Of course he can. But what about my juvenile grandma? What about you, my juvenile grandma friend? This can't just be a cosplay party of yours truly alone. Isn't there anyone you've been wanting to inhabit the garments of? Not really, but it would be fun to make a costume for me too. Are you gonna give yourself a troll Sona? I could be Mr. Coxcomb. He's one of my favorite Manthro chaps. Jade turns to you, her demeanor towards you considerably softened. Hey, I'm sorry I was so mad earlier. Honestly, I was scared of what you were doing. It really shook me up to find myself on an alien planet. It felt like we shouldn't be doing it. But I shouldn't have taken it out on you. I know your powers aren't your fault. Do you want to join us? We can make a costume for you too. Oh yes, please do. Jade, this specimen right here, has been nothing but a positively fantabulous friend to me all along. Have you? Have you? All you did was tow him along on a little inter-timeline jaunt. You don't feel like you've done Jake much good. Are you even really friends with Jake, or are you just piggybacking off facilitating his friendship with Jade? It's true, it's fine, you guess. Things are going fine. Even well, but it feels unsatisfying. No real nutritional value. You don't feel good about what you've done, but you guess you might as well get a cool costume out of it. You tell Jake and Jade you know exactly who you want to dress like. The three of you set to work together. Let's see, is there a problem sleuth character? Oh, we're Marvis! Hell yeah! Marvis! Good end, you guess! Wow, we got the pose too. Jeez, what the heck? Yeah! Was that the good ending? Yes, it was. Let's go back. We must face the terrible ending. Of course you're gonna help. Jake asked, didn't he? You think of your old bag of friendship tricks, encouraging him to talk to people about his feelings. Probably be good, but it's a little complex. He has 3 different relationships with these kids, all with their own set of problems. And you're not convinced that Jake is really up for confrontation yet. Your best bet is probably forging unlikely connections through your powers of teleportation and friend matchmaking. You think proudly at the time you'd introduced Daria to Tizius, someone who struggled with the questions Daria was facing, but found a more constructive solution. That's what you need. Not someone similar to Jake, but a good foil. Someone who'd be able to call Jake out on his avoidance. You need the ultimate pull-no-puncher, an expert in tough love. Are we going to see Equius? Oh no, not Vriska! Oh gosh, no! You ask Jake if you'd like to take the initiative to introduce him to another one of your friends. Someone who has kind of takes no crap approach that he needs to cultivate. Someone who can really help. Don't give him to her. She ruins pages. Anyway. Oh, absolutely. Lead on, buckaroo. You clap your hands maidily on his shoulder and zap over to Friska. Yep, here we are. You expect her to be at her hive, but when your field of vision clears, you're at the beach again. You've appeared in a diplomatic distance away, not right up in her face. Friska's walking down the beach, hands in her pockets, occasionally aiming a disaffected kick at a piece of trash. Pages. Just kidding. You call out to her and wave her over. Her face splits into a grin at the sight of you. It gives you a warm glow, like you've befriended someone's mean cat who never gets along with visitors. The power for that is real. Maybe more like someone's mean mountain lion. Hey there! Hi, Vriska. What's she doing on the beach? I came here looking for my stupid fish friends. Terezi and I need an explosive device for a thing. And as much as I hate to admit it, Ampora isn't bad at making them. But he's not even here. I can't even find him the one time I want to see him. Ever. Figures. My so-called friends leaving me to do all the work. Again. It's this kind of self-starter energy that Jake could really learn from. Speaking of, you start to introduce your friends to each other, but when you turn to Jake, he's frozen, his face caught in an expression of shock and wonder. Maybe you could have mentioned your friend was an alien. You keep forgetting to mention things like that. As you look at him, Jake rallies, snapping to such a ramrod posture you half expect him to salute. He opens his mouth to speak, then shuts it. You can talk to her, you prompt. It's okay. Yes, righto. Holy smokes, I'm ruffled as a baby's bonnet to meet you, Miss Friska. I'm poised and trembling at the lip of your pit of knowledge, just ready to fall into the unexpected abyss. I'm happy to learn whatever you can teach me. Although I must say with my pal intimidated they have a friend who could help, I didn't expect you to be such a blue and spidery persuasion. Of course. Why would anyone be anything else when they expect blue and spidery? Aha, you have a solid point there, my extraterrestrial associate. I hope you'll pardon my candor, but a real gentleman doesn't hide from the truth. You may be the coolest girl I've ever seen in my entire life. Clears throat nervously, hoping he doesn't overstep. Well, I can't say I'm surprised to hear it. Feel free to keep listing things that are awesome about me. Despite his professional admiration for Vriska, however, Jake isn't listening. Hang on, wait, technically the only other girl I've ever seen was my grandma, but you know what I mean. It's kind of disrespectful to refer to one's grandmother as a girl, so I didn't mean her. Oh gosh, I seem to be rambling. I do hope this is a radiant exemplar of the kind of being, true to myself, I hope to cultivate as a regular habit from here on out. I think I can be very brave just to keep being yourself when things seem awkward, don't you think so? Oh, wow. There are so many things wrong with that, I don't even know where to start. Oh, doggone it, really? This is why I need your help, Miss Vriska. I didn't see anything wrong with any of that at all. Here I am going around thinking what I'm saying everyone is tickety-boo, and it turns out it's all been a load of cattywampus fiddle-faddle. Oh gosh, what is that? Fiddle-faddle, rump-to-rump. I'm trying to remember that Gravity Falls thing what the Duchess approves. Anyway. Oh man, this is the nicest present anyone's ever gotten me. She's addressing you now, ignoring Jake's question. A predatory shark smile spans her pointy face. You must have known things were getting bad with Tavros. In a different way than usual, I mean. He just kind of stopped responding in every way he did before, and not even because of his fakey fraud confidence. He just says no good can come from talking to me. So you brought me a new nerdy loser. This rules. Well, that wasn't exactly what you expected, although now that you think about it, why didn't you expect this? Pretty much anyone could have seen this coming. Yep. Hey. Except Jake, of course. I may have my little quirks and quibbles, but that doesn't mean I'm a loser. If you weren't a lady, I dare say such slanderous language would earn you a one-way ticket to Fisticuffs Island. Which, now that I think about it, is more or less than an appropriate moniker for my permanent residence. Go ahead and fight her. I want to see you throw a punch at Vriska's face. How do you like them Granny Smith apples? This is hilarious. I've never met anyone who makes me feel so good about myself. I'm so lucky to be cool. Excuse me, but I haven't heard hide nor hair of an apology, Miss Rude Alien Girl. At least Jake is standing up for himself, but you get the feeling that this enthusiastic bravado doesn't hold up if the issue is an interpersonal one with his friends. Either way, Vriska is not backing down. She sizes Jake up, stepping forward to intimidate him. Do you really want to fight? Because I get the feeling that whatever your planet's equivalent of Colbait is... No, you're whatever your equivalent of Colbait is. I may not know what that means, but I've never once backed down from a scrum, and I'm not about to start now, chum. Whoa, no. You're not gonna let two of your best friends, a category that includes all your friends, throw down right in front of you. Especially not after Vriska compared Jake to Tavros. Doesn't she remember the consequences of fighting Tavros? Doesn't she want things to go differently here? Wait. What's that supposed to mean? Oh no, you didn't mean any offense. You know Vriska has been through a lot and her past mistakes should be viewed with that context, but you know Vriska didn't mean to hurt Tavros as much as she did, right? I think she meant that. Vriska is no longer having fun. She's turned to you now, her mouth set into a line, fists clenched at her side. You remember how magical it seemed to have earned her friendship and how easily Vriska can lash out when she thinks her friends have turned on her. You think you know what went down between me and Tavros? Tavros was almost as pathetic as this guy. I was trying to get him stronger, but every time I did, he just folded like a loser. He barely even tried to fight back. He was too scared and wimpy. And everyone always gets mad at me for pushing him, but that's what our planet is gonna do to him. If he doesn't get stronger, he'll die. Trying to protect him from danger now is just letting that happen later. I would say I'm the only one who's ever really cared about him. At least I tried to help him shape him up. You almost forgot Jake is here, but at this, he makes an indignant noise, and you turn to see that his anger and stress has ricocheted up several notches. Well, pardon me, Miss Spider Smurfette, but it doesn't sound like you were much of a friend at all. Oh no, you nudge Jake, trying to let him know that Vriska can be a little scary and might not be best if you pushed her like this. But Jake isn't listening. No matter how much you think you're doing this fellow a favor from what you've said, he really is scared and sad. And I'm sorry, that doesn't make someone stronger. It makes them scared. Even if you think it's good for him, or even if he said it when it was what he wanted. Like maybe he was talking about having a fighting partner. What he really wanted was a companionship to being alone all the time. And to be totally candid, it's hard to believe you didn't know that. Dirk. Which means it really is more about what you want than what's best for him, even though you keep saying it's what's best for him, which makes it really hard to argue. Anyway, if you ask me, you're a rotten friend, and I don't think I want you to be one of mine after all. Before Vriska can respond and almost inevitably make things worse, you cut her off. Enough is enough. You tell her you're sorry for making assumptions. You know that she's doing the best she could with the raw deal she was given in this culture. You offer her to a quick thank you for this hellish social interaction and ask her for some alone time with your incipient friend here. Vriska still looks annoyed, but there's a moment where you're scared she won't let it go. But she does, stepping back and rearranging her facial expression to apathy. You guess pushing it would mean admitting she cares about your opinion of her. Whatever. Talk to you later, nerds. After she leaves, you put a comforting hand on Jake's shoulder. That's gotten pretty raw, huh? It's kind of seemed like it in the end there. He wasn't talking about Vriska at all. Like there was someone else he wanted to say all that stuff to. Huh? No, this has nothing to do with me. It's all about some weird alien situation. Sure, Jake. You suggest gently that this might be one of those situations the two of you were talking about earlier, where Jake is suppressing the truth because it's inconvenient to acknowledge. Doesn't it bear some slight resemblance to a situation of his own friend group? Jake averts his gaze, clearly uncomfortable. No way, all my friends are best in show. And even if you're implying what you're implying was True. It's different when it's your friends. A man can't get by with his bros, so sometimes he has to make allowances. Certain, let's say, eccentricities are just what you have to put up with when best friends are involved. No, they're not. You're allowed to hold your friends accountable. This is a weapons-grade interpersonal truth you're spouting, but Jake doesn't look enlightened. Instead, he's growing red in the face with indignance. What would you know about it anyway? Not to be rude, but it's a very personal situation between a fella and his buddies. I don't think I appreciate what you're implying. You don't want to get frustrated, but Jake did ask for your help. The two of you came here because you were going to face up to the hard truths about Jake's life. Doesn't Jake want to do that? Well, of course I do. I'm ready to take a hard look in the old rum peeper, and don't you doubt it. It's just that when it comes to my friends, I didn't think you were saying any of them were bad. I thought you were encouraging me to take things in a more forthright direction because, well... tugs at collar nervously. Because of their feelings towards me? Gosh, I know it sounds stupid when I say it like that. I hope you know I'm not some kind of pompous braggadocio making myself out as some slick Casanova type. I'm probably just making it up. I'm the kind of guy who gets confused easily, especially with the number of concussions I've sustained over the years. A real beef-witted bozo, that's me. But more than once I've gotten an inkling that some of my friends might be giving me the old eagle eye, firing up the courting maneuvers if you get my drift. So when you said things were right between me and my friends, that's sort of where I thought the personal train was heading. An impression only further bolstered when you proceed to introduce me to your blue arachnid-themed friend. I figured you remembered my sapphire sirens from my room. You know, Neytiri and all that. It was a sweet gesture, although, just so you're aware, she's a little too young for me to take that kind of interest. 3 years difference? 3 years difference? I guess. Also, I'm distracted by the fact that your ear wasn't colored all the way through. I can see the, violet sky behind it. I guess that's a bit of a, yeah. It wouldn't be that big of a difference if you guys were adults, but you were children. You chillins. Let's not. It's not even Romeo and Juliet situated rules. Anyway, I appreciate the thought, though. Just some constructive criticism for next time. Now you're tempted to say aloud some kind of goofy RP action indicating your embarrassment. You don't, though, because it sounds stupid when Jake does that. Geez, this is a mess. This kid has issues on issues, and when you think you've put your finger on one, it slides to reveal 3 more. You're playing personal growth whack-a-mole over here, but you gamely draw yourself up and pledge onward, determined. Okay, you tell Jake. So if that's what you thought you were going to talk about, let's talk about it. How does that make him feel, thinking his friends are all attracted to him? What does he plan to do about it? Oh, you know, I think all that malarkey will work itself out over time. Nope. I figured I'll just wait until someone brings it up and then just go along with what they think we should do. Oh, no. That explains so much. Really? That's his strategy? It seems remarkably lackadaisical, and it gives you a sinking feeling again about what's in store for future Jake. Does he actually return any of those feelings? I sure do. My friends are the cat's pajamas. I don't mind saying I really love them. Right, of course, but is there any one of them he feels differently about? What would he say if, for example, Jane asked him out? I'd say yes, of course. How could I say no to a top Sheba like Janie? She's smart as a whip, with a mug to match. Alright, what about Roxy? A fellow could be daft as a doorknob to turn down Roxy. She's a genius tech hacker spy, like in all my favorite movies. And Strider? Are you kidding? Strider's my best bro in the world, and a mighty strapping agent if we were getting into it. I can't think of any reason to say no to a proposition like that from my best bud. All the Jake shippers are screaming and being like, no, Jake is just this, and like, removes all the validation from my ship. No. Anyway, it sounds so problematic. The way Jake conceives of things is just far enough off of your own viewpoint, you can't help feeling like you're passing each other without really connecting. For example, he doesn't have to have a reason No, he doesn't have to have a reason to say no to a friend asking him out. It comes down to his feelings. Does he really have strong feelings for any of these people? Like stronger feelings than he has for Neytiri? Whoa, hey now, that's not really fair. Neytiri is the perfect woman. No, you insist. It is fair. If someone has feelings for him, he should not be with them unless he has stronger feelings for the real flesh and blood person than he does for the poster of Neytiri. It's important. Well, if you put it that way. I don't know if I've ever had feelings like that. I don't even know if I'm capable of those kinds of feelings. If that's the case, then he needs to be prepared to tell his friends that. It's not like he has to have these conversations now, but someday, the feelings his friends need to be addressed, and he needs to be ready to turn them down. He needs to make these decisions. He can't just wait for things to resolve on their own and deal with the consequences later. Oh wow, this is coming up with like the good route ending, where Jade was like, you can't just keep zapping people into our lives and then disappearing to leave us with the consequences. You can't do that. Anyway, wow. He doesn't sound nearly as excited about personal growth as he did before. He just sounds dejected. I must say, you've given me a lot to think about. That's a good thing you remind him. He's learning important things. Well, sorry, but a lot of people tell me it's important for me to learn various things. And for sure, sometimes they're right. I've never assumed the image of a chap who knows everything. But you've also been telling me I can stand up for myself sometimes. Make my own decisions about what's right instead of letting other people tell me how to live. And I don't think I agree with you on this. Ooh. He sneaks a guilty look at you from under his sad, bowed head. What I mean is, I like making my pals happy. Even if I'm not always sure about if I want the things they want, and I can't imagine the consequences could really be that bad. I think that in matters of the heart, I'm just fine going with the flow. No offense, but the way you're advocating I go about it seems hard and sad. I don't want to hurt people. You gotta set boundaries, Jake. Boundaries are very important to your personal and mental health. You can't just say yes to everything and just keep yourself quiet. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling. Sometimes you make friendships, sometimes you gotta break them for your mental health. That's how it goes. You can't just stay. Anyway. I really think it's best if I just sit back and see how things work out. If someone asks me to do something, I might as well try it. No. But also, it might work in this universe because we screwed things up, timeline-wise. That's just the kind of adventure boy I am. You want to respect Jake's choices, but you can't help the exasperation rising up in you. Sure, he can decide how he wants to conduct his friendships, but the approach he's talking about is really unhealthy. If he wants to do right by his friends, he has to be honest with them and with himself. Otherwise, it's not fair to anyone. I see what you're saying, but if you want my 100% bona fide opinion, I don't think I can do that. I guess we had different ideas about what we were getting into with this. He can do it, though. All he has to do is try. Jake is shaking his head. I'm sorry. I know you're really trying to help. I'm sure you're an excellent compadre, just like the Spider Girl said, but this isn't working for me. Maybe you should just take me home now. I can figure out a way to deal with the robot. He's still well below average Jake level of energy. You can see how you really affected him. But you're far from confident that your intervention is going to make any difference in the long run. Despite his seeming earnestness, you guess Jake wasn't as ready for change as he thought he was. Wait a second, is this a bad end? A horrible powerlessness threatens to overwhelm you. All at once, it makes you furious. This isn't fair! Jake gave you a choice between two options. You chose to help him and face his problems. You know that this is the right choice. You didn't do anything wrong. You were kind and patient. You talked to him sincerely and pushed him in the right direction. You deserve a good end. You deserve to save him. But you can tell Jake is emotionally closing up. You're willing to bet the conversation the two of you just had was among the most candid of his life, and he isn't ready for another. You want to you want so badly to help him. You know exactly the changes he needs to make, But you can't make those changes for him. He needs to do it himself. And he's just not ready. Maybe he'll never be. You hate this. You hate Jake. You hate yourself. Making people's lives better is the one thing that's giving your piecemeal existence any meaning. And he's taking this away from you. His stupid inability to face his issues is ruining your life. But now we're Vriska. You linger as long as you can, but eventually you have to do it. You gotta take the L. Bad end, you guess? And we're just screaming to the sky, and Jake's like, oh jeez, Willikers. I've tried to befriend a loony. Boosh. But yeah, we got the good roll. We got the good ending the first time around. Well, at least for the second part. Yep, Tally Hoedown threw a rad costume party with Jake and Jade. Hooray! Now, I don't know who we'd possibly meet next. I am voting Roxy, but it could be either one at this point. Because both of them are, like, super aware of plot contrivances. Roxy's, like, probably freaking out, and she's probably gonna punch me in the face over Jade's, like, deciding not to play the game. So, I don't know what this could be. It's gonna be interesting. Anyway. I like that. I like hanging out with Jake. Is a good run. And I like that we covered, like, a bunch of, like, the awkwardnesses of his, like, character. Oh, gosh. I can only imagine, like, all the Dirk Jake shippers are just like, no, why do you have to ruin all of Jake's ships like that? And I got the perfect solution. Just kill off Jake English. It makes things so much easier in the long run. I'm joking. Or am I? Anyway, I can't think of anything else to say. So I guess I'll see you all next time with the next Pesterquest. Not sure who it's going to be. Probably going to be early March. So that'll be fun. I've got tons of stuff to edit and only got like 3 hours to do it. Less than 3 hours, actually. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye!
Hey there. Consider becoming a patron, just like the phenomenal Bleed Red, Alexander Madeline, Uranium Coffee, and Ryan Nelson.